Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching the Technique of the Month from Digital Photo Magazine. On this month's cover CD, you'll find a selection of film strip templates, and today I'm going to show you how to add your pictures to those templates using Paintshop Pro. Okay, so I've already got film strip number 1 on the screen, and we need to do a little bit of preparation to make this template work with Paintshop Pro. First of all, we need to open the layers, so down to the keyboard, F8 on the keyboard, and you'll find that your template is made of a few layers. Now the background layer is at the bottom, that's the white bit there. Now really important right at the beginning that you switch off the background layer by clicking the little eye icon, and you'll switch the visibility of that layer off. Now click the actual film strip layer itself, because that's the layer we want to work on. Okay, so that's fine. Let's do some work on this film strip. We want to put a picture in each of these little cells here. So I'm going to start by clicking on the first cell with the magic wand tool. So here's the magic wand tool, like so, and we get a selection. Now we can clear out the contents, edit and clear, and we now have a hole ready for a picture. Selections, select none just to get rid of that selection. Right, let's find a picture. We'll go to File, Open. I've got a series of pictures that I want to put in here, so I'm going to open the first one and go to Edit and Copy, and that is it. We can close it down. We don't need it anymore. It says, do we want to save the changes? No, we don't. And then we can go back to Edit and Paste as New Layer. And there's the picture back again. Trouble is, it's above the film strip and it should be below. So all we need to do is on the Layers palette, just drag that picture down and underneath the film strip like that. Now that's fine, but it's now too big as well. It's kind of large, and we need it just to fill this little hole up here. So let's make a bit of working area for myself like that. And I'm going to swap tools to the Pick tool. Now this tool has a couple of mode settings, so make sure that you're working on the Scale mode setting, because when you drag in one of the corner handles, it should keep everything nice and proportional. Like so. And we'll just drag this up because it needs to go up here somewhere, and we'll have another go at that, get a bit smaller still like that, and we'll just shuffle it along like so. Now once it's in the right place, we need to sort out the sprocket holes, because you can see the picture through the sprocket holes. Now that shouldn't happen, of course, so we're going to change to another selection tool, not the magic wand tool, but just the ordinary rectangular selection tool, and we'll just drag a rectangular selection out over those sprocket holes, edit and clear, or you can just hit the delete key if you prefer, which is quicker, so we'll do that this time. Another selection on that side, hit delete, and it clears out the image from the sprocket holes. Selections, select none, and we're ready for the last step on this image, which is to go to Layers, choose Merge, and Merge Visible. Okay, whatever you do, don't go for Flatten, go for Merge Visible. Okay, so there's our first picture in place. So let's add another picture in. Right, let's go back to the Magic Wand selection tool, click in the grey cell there and hit the delete key on the keyboard to cut a hole. Selections, and select none. We need a picture, of course, so File and Open, and we'll open the second of the splash pictures, and Edit and Copy, and close it down. Do I want to save the changes? Still don't want to save any changes, that's fine. Back to Edit, Paste as New Layer, and put the layer underneath, and use the Pick tool to shrink it down. Okay, here we go. That's one there, and one about there, and shuffle it over. Good, okay. So change selection tools to the rectangular selection tool, make a rough and ready rectangle selection over that area, hit the delete key once, make another selection, and hit the delete key again. Selections, select none. So that's 2 in, except we've got a layer, merge, merge visible. 2 in place, better. Okay, so let's try that once again. Magic wand tool, click on the third one, hit delete, then open the third image, open splash number 3. You can see these images all have a theme running through them. All of these images were part of a sequence of pictures just of a little drop of water just dropping down and splashing onto the floor. Well, I say a sequence of pictures. It actually took about half an hour to photograph them, although in fact it looks like it was just a very short space of time. Right, okay, let's bring up the Pick tool and we'll put that underneath, of course, that's it, and then shrink this down. One there, and one over there. Move it across till it's in the right place. Good hope. And then we'll make another selection over here. Clean out the sprocket holes. And clean up the sprocket holes on that side as well. Selections and select none. Layers, merge, merge visible. Right, almost there. So, magic wand, delete, file and open. Open number 4. Now it's worth learning a few keyboard shortcuts as you're going along here. For example, you'll see that copy has a keyboard shortcut Control and C. So it can save you a few clicks of the mouse by learning a few of these keyboard shortcuts. Similarly, if paste as new layer is Control and L. So if you learn just 1 or 2 keyboard shortcuts, those are good ones to learn. Select and select none. Otherwise, when we use the pick tool, if you have a selection active, it does look a little bit strange. Very important, if you're using the pick tool, there are no active selections. Otherwise, the pick tool will just work on the selection, which is not what we wanted at all. And we go back to a selection tool and make a selection over the sprocket holes. Delete, and the other side. Delete, and select none. And layers, merge, remember it isn't flatten, it's merge visible. And we're down for the very last one. So magic wand tool, select on the grey area, hit the delete key, selections and select none. Open the very last image, which must be number 5. Let's try those keyboard shortcuts, shall we? Control and C to copy. And then Control and L to paste. Make sure we drag that down underneath with the pick tool, slide that down into place like that. And it seems to have got a bit of a funny shape, so I'll just move that back up. There we go. Into place. Whoops. Got it. Lovely. And then we'll make a selection with the selection tool to take out the sprocket holes. That's one side. That's the other side. Selections, select none. And for the last time, layers, merge, merge visible. Okay, so our film strip now has all the pictures in place, but we have a large blank area next to it, which also needs a picture. Now you could put a 6th picture in there if you like, but for me, I'm looking down this film strip here and thinking one of these would make a very nice large version. And it's got to be this one in the middle, because that's just a smashing little splash coming up there. So let's add that in now. We'll file and open. That was number 3, I think it was. Yeah, that's number 3. There we go. And we'll go for Control C to copy. Close it down. Not save the changes. And then Control L to paste it as a new layer. There it is. We'll drag that just underneath the film strip like that. And then we'll use the pick tool. Rather than shrinking it down like we've been doing before, we can also use the pick tool to expand it up. So up we go, like that. And need a bit more room here. And we'll go right to the top. Now you may get a little warning message coming up saying that you're going to use a lot of memory to expand it this much. That's okay, just keep going. Just say okay and keep on going through. Okay, lovely, there we go. That's the job done. So there we are, there's our film strip template complete with its images.